Hello people and welcome back to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and in this video we'll be talking about X4. It's another X4 video, but in this video I want to do something that might be satisfying for a lot of players out there who have been playing this game. You know, X4 is mostly a trade empire building game. You gotta build your trade empire by having a fleet of traders that trade from one place to another, or build your own stations, and then you're gonna get, millions and millions and maybe billions of credits in game in order to then build a fleet and fulfill the various objectives that you may have in the verse, whether it is, for example, entirely conquer the universe map, or maybe remove a faction, or make your own sectors in the game, right? But of course sometimes there are some setbacks, and those setbacks are embodied by pirates in the game, either in the forms of the fallen families for the split, or sometimes as well by the scale plate pack, which is a bunch of ragtag pirates that is made of various species in the game. And these pirates tend to be targeting your ships quite very often. Sometimes they target AI ships, sometimes they target your own ships, and that can be very annoying, especially at the start of the game when you don't have a lot of credits, and if you lose some of your trade ships, then it may take a while until you may be able to afford a new one, right? So I thought, well, instead of affording or buying new ships, how about I seize the ship? And that's what we're going to do today. In this video we will be pirating the pirates, and this is something that I've been waiting to do for quite some time, and I hope that you're going to find it as satisfactory as I find it myself. So, to board a ship, well, it's actually very easy. First, you must have some ships yourself with some capacity, who have some marines, because you're going to need those marines in order to capture those ships. And the bigger the ship, the more marine you're going to get. For example, here we're going to capture one of those smaller Teladi-based SCA ships. These ships require about 46 crews, so you're not going to need that much marine. But if you're trying to capture, for example, a fallen family rattlesnake, then you are going to need at least, in my opinion, from my experience, at least 96 marines, if not the double if your operation fails. So that is going to require a lot of manpower, which is why we're going to concentrate here on a ship which has a Teladi base, and so hopefully only one boarding operation is going to be needed here. Hopefully this one is going to be successful. So you just need to select the ship and click on board, and you're going to have a little panel here that's going to show you how many marines you're going to affect to that particular mission. I usually affect all of them so that I have the higher chances of seizing the ship. And the first thing that you have to do once you get to your target is to disable its turrets, which makes sense because obviously if you want to seize a ship, you're going to have to launch some boarding pods, and those boarding pods are very vulnerable, and so for that you're going to destroy the turrets of your target. Usually it's about 7 turrets, and they are located all over the enemy ship. So for that I usually take a medium-sized ship, simply because they are much more maneuverable than the large capital ships that you may have at your disposal, and also they are stronger than the smaller fighter, which I use as support vessels, or basically they are here as a distraction for the capital ship that we are seizing here to attack. So with that medium ship, I'm just roaming around that capital ship in order to find the turrets. It's usually easy to find those turrets, because if you see something, some projectiles getting out of the ship here that you are attacking, if the ship is firing, that means that there's obviously a turret. So that's where you can detect those turrets, and you can click on them. You can see that they have shields as well as a gauge for their armor, and it's very easy to see how much you're going to have to attack them in order to completely deplete these gauges and destroy the turret. So once you do that, well, it can take a while, because you also have to take under consideration that that ship may have some repair drones as well. So you're gonna have to target the repair drones if you see them, but you may also not want to entirely destroy all the repair drones, because if you seize the ship, you would be very happy if that ship still has repair drones, because you may want to, for example, disable the engines, and if you have a spare repair drone once you seize the ship, then that repair drone will be able to repair the engine. So that might come handy as well. In the end, it's going to be your call, and you're gonna have to decide on whether or not destroy the repair drones. But if you don't destroy the repair drones, it means that those turrets may get repaired again, and you're gonna have to keep on patrolling around that ship to make sure that all of the turrets of the ship gets destroyed and remained destroyed. Now, once the turrets are destroyed is when the boarding pods are going to come. Now, keep in mind, it is extremely important that you have to make sure that all of the ships that do have boarding pods, those ships that were assigned for the boarding operations, must be in range of the target, otherwise the operation is not going to even start. It would just remain on the first stage, which is the approach stage, but then the soldiers, the marines, will not get inside the ship. They will not be breaching. So you're gonna have to make sure that all of the ships that do have marines assigned for the task are around, and once they are, which is when the boarding operation is going to start, it is separated into 3 stages, which is the first one, the approach, which was when the boarding pods are coming to the ship itself. Then they are going to breach and they're going to attack any resistance inside the ship, and the final stage is the bridge, which of course is going to cause the most resistance. But if the marines finally succeed in taking this ship, then in taking this stage here, then they are going to take the ship, and then the ship will be yours. But then once the ship is yours, there's another problem, of course, is that you don't have an assigned pilot, which is where you play a part here. Now, I heavily suggest that you've already researched the teleport technology so that you can finally teleport from the ship you're in into the newly acquired ship, which is where your new job is going to be. You're going to have to fly that ship to a repair station, because obviously it is going to be quite damaged. Probably you would have disabled the ship, meaning that the engines will be very slow or malfunctioning, and it's going to take a while. And so once you get to a repair station, it can be an equipment dock or a shipyard, right? This is where you're going to just have to repair the ship, and it's also going to be a good opportunity to see if you need to upgrade those ships with better components. Now, usually those are parrot ships, meaning those parrot ships are meant to be quite deadly and effective, and so far I've noticed that all of the ships that I have seized were equipped with some of the best components in the game. So this is something that I have not needed, and this is my last point here, guys, which is why it is profitable to seize pirate ships. Because yeah, sure, maybe you're gonna have some losses, maybe you will lose some fighters around you, or maybe a light frigate, but in the end those losses are going to be nothing compared to how much it would have cost you to buy a capital ship equipped like this. It's about 20 to 30 million credits in game, whereas the losses that you have if you lose a couple of starfighters is going to be maximum 8 to 10 million credits if you are unlucky. So in the end, it is definitely worth it. And if you do not want to wish to keep those ships, you can always sell them and make an even better profit, right? So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Why seizing ships in X4 is an interesting option and also very satisfactory. I mean, yeah, you get the pirates, you take some ships from the pirates and you take it from yourself. I mean, can you get any better than that, especially if those pirates get to be a little pesky and destroy your own ships? That's an activity that I really like to do, and I wish was available in more games, like for example Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen. That would be fantastic. Anyway, that's all for this video, guys. If you think that I did a good job, you know what to do. The like button is just down there, and please also subscribe to the channel if you want to see regular gaming content. This has been the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.